Hi, thanks for joining me today. I have a flip video on Crafter's Companions box kit number 16, which is their statement word edgeables, and these are pretty cool. The what I would consider the crux of the kit are these two dies that you're seeing me put one on right here. This one says awesome, and the other one says gorgeous. And what's really nice is the Crafter's Companion edgeable line of dies essentially cut out around the word or image all but one side. So that leaves one edge still connected to your card, which is really cool because then you can create awesome things like what I've got going on here, which is an edge of the card that has the word cut out from it but is still attached. And just like what you're seeing me do here, you can still snip away parts of the word. So if you wanted to use the word by itself, you could definitely do that. And here I'm using it just as a shadow layer to make the word a little bit more readable against the background. And this first card is, of course, my flat card. And so I'm including on the design some of the ribbon that comes in the kit, which is pretty awesome. They have typically 3 different size ribbon in 3 different colors. So altogether, you'll have 9 different pieces of ribbon to work with. And as you can see here, this is a full strip of one of those ribbons. So it's not a huge amount of ribbon that they are giving you. It's enough for maybe 1 or 2 cards, which I think is perfectly good. I would rather have an amount of ribbon that I can, comfortably use up rather than have it just continue to accumulate in my stash. So I do think it's a good variety and a good amount of ribbon that you get. This is my layered card, and I've used the same word edgeable die, awesome, just because it's a word that I use a lot personally. And I don't use the word gorgeous too often, so I didn't really incorporate it in a lot of my cards with this kit, but it is definitely a really nice option. And these are what they call statement words, which they really do make a statement. They can, because they're so large, they really can be sort of a focal point on your card. One of the nice things, I'm pretty new to the Crafter's Companion box kits, and one of the things though that I noticed that I really appreciate is that they include a variety of different card bases in different sizes and shapes, and a lot of kind of fun fold style cards that are already pre-folded for you. One of the more notable examples being easel cards. And so it's really nice that you get that variety, but as well, you also get envelopes to match the sizes that they are providing. And so I think it's a very comprehensive kit in that way, because you do get a little bit of everything that you would need, and you can make some pretty fun cards with them. So this kit in particular included 8x8 papers in solid and pattern paper, and card bases, a number of them, a good variety, as well as their matching envelopes. You get the dies and a stamp set as well. And so you can see these stamps here are additional sentiments that, combined with the 2 statement dies, can complete a sentence. So here I'm using "you are awesome," but you could also use that for "you are gorgeous." So really good general use sentiments. So to put this shadow layer of the word on, I'm just using some liquid glue, but I've been using some Tombow tape runner, their dotted variety lately, and that's also really easy to use as well. Here I'm just using some of these hearts that I fussy cutted out of that pattern paper that is in that central panel that you see, and I ran those through my Xyron sticker maker so that I could have just these fun little stickers that I could use as additional embellishments for my card. Okay, so this is my interactive card, and it's going to be a shaker. So what I've already done is the die set also includes that sort of kind of a rectangle art, with the rounded corner window. So that's also an edgeable. So it does only cut on 3 sides, and it leaves open the bottom. And the nice thing about that is you can combine it with your word edgeable, or really, I guess, any edgeable die that you have, so that on that bottom border, you can have the effect that I've got going on here. And it's perfectly sized to fit both words. So here I'm using gorgeous, but it fits the word awesome as well. And one of the things that attracted me to this kit is that I had just recently purchased on Crafter's Companion a bundle of the Peekaboo die and stamp set, and I noticed that with those sets, you can buy separately these sort of window dies, and they have them in 2 varieties. The one that looks similarly shaped to this one, although I don't know if it's the same size, and then one that's more of a circular, kind of half circle shape. And that shaped die, the half circle shape, came in another box kit that I recently purchased. And so between the 2 box kits, I'll have these nice window dies, which they sell separately. Hopefully they'll all work with the Peekaboo die bundle that I also purchased. It hasn't arrived yet, so I don't know whether or not they will all fit the same, but hopefully they do, because then that kind of saves me having to buy those those other 2 dies. So this is a little bit of an experiment for me, because I had the idea of cutting out a variety of the stamped sentiments and including those as shaker elements behind my shaker window. I've never put any die cut elements other than, those really small sort of confetti-sized pieces that drop out of other die cuts, but I'm going to try it with these sentiments and see if they shake around and move well enough, because what's fun with the stamp set is that you have a lot of different partial sentiments that work with the word, the main statement sentiment. So here there's smile, so it would read smile gorgeous, or you are gorgeous. I've got hello gorgeous, and I think there's a third one that I can't remember. And there's the word day, so kind of gorgeous day. That one might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm including it. So I'm going to put in some shaker bits, and these are just Nuvo confetti, which I love this bottle. It came in a tonic craft kit, and it's really fantastic because they're small circles, but they're iridescent, so they kind of catch the light in different ways and kind of have that nice shimmer rainbow effect. So that's kind of cute. I mean, I think it worked out okay. If the sentiments were smaller, I think they would have moved around a little bit better. And I did play around with it so much that some of the sentiments flipped upside down. So it took a while to kind of try to get those right side up again. But but it does work, and I might try this again on other projects, especially if I have sentiments that are smaller. I mean, this was a rather large window, and so that's why I thought it would be fun to include the sentiments, because then it's not full of shaker bits, but instead has some larger bits in there that are kind of fun. And I did want to make sure that at least one of the sentiments would always be legible, so that's why I didn't include hello behind the shaker window, but instead I'm actually going to put it in front. So you'll always be able to read that one, and then here you can see some of them are upside down, but you'll have some fun just trying to figure out the rest. So this one is my last card using this kit, and it's going to be my pop-up card. And so again, I gutted out the center of that solid color cardstock just so that I can reuse the center portion of that panel, since just a very little small sliver is going to be seen. And I really liked doing some hand drawn edges for my sentiments for this kit. And I'll probably do it some more in some of my future cards. Just that casual here, I did some solid lines, and in the previous card I did some dashed lines that kind of make it look, stitched. And I just used my kind of fine liner marker for that. And I think it lends a fun sort of casual look, and that's kind of why I went with putting everything just a little bit wonky on this card, because it sort of goes with that whole casual look. And the papers are so fun, and the colors are so kind of fun. And you also get a die that cuts these little bunting banners as well. So that's something else that's a little bit nice to have in your stash too, because those can be used for any kind of celebratory card. So here I've got the inside of my pop-up mechanism, and I already put the structure together. It's clear acetate, and but I'm showing you here how I created that. So just took a piece of scrap card and I scored and folded about 1/2 inch at the bottom, and that's going to be the glue tabs. So you'll want to, and you can, when you do this, sort of put it at any angle that you want. And all I did was I cut a slit along that score line, and that's how I'm going to attach the little banner that's going to be floating in midair. And so here I'm just making some supports for that banner. So I'm basically just making sort of an X shape out of these just little scrap bits of cardstock. And so once you have that, you can slide 2 of those legs behind and 2 in front. So the 2 behind will get attached to the main acetate panel, and then the 2 in front are gonna be the support for my banner, which is also going to be adhered to a piece of acetate. So I've already die cut the statement word, and again I'm using the word awesome. So all of that's going to go on top of my banner. That's a piece of acetate that I've already cut down to size. And you can see this stands up really well because I'm using a pretty thick acetate. I mean, this is not the same acetate that I put behind my shaker windows. Those are a little bit more flimsy. Like if you held it up, it would fold over, sort of collapsing on its own weight. But these will stand up. And I'm just using some packaging that something else I bought, I guess, must have come in. So it's that sturdy plastic. You don't want it overly thick because you do have to put a fold in it and some actually two or three folds, because you have to fold down those glue tabs, and then you have to fold in the center as well. And I die cut out a bunch of bunting from the various solid and pattern papers, and I'm just gonna have that strung across and layered up in a variety of different colors. And I know you can't see too much of what I'm doing because of the top-down view, but there you go. So you can see that this style of pop-up really makes it seem like everything's kind of floating in the air. I mean, obviously you can see the acetate, but it's just a fun little way to kind of create something a little bit different. So I'll put some more of that bunting on the bottom. If I, in retrospect, I think I would have doubled up on the statement word to make it pop off of the decorative pattern paper a little bit better. And I still might go back and see if there's anything I can do about that, because it's a little bit hard to read, and with all of the bunting and everything else going on, that yellow is just doesn't have enough contrast against the polka dot background. So I might go back and see if there's anything I can do about that. So the plan is to include the additional words have an, and then awesome day. So I'm going to attach these little bits. One thing that I would recommend highly is, as you're doing this, make sure that you're closing your card, frequently, to ensure that whatever you're attaching still fits, within the parameters of the card once it's closed. So I was doing that just then, but then I didn't double check after I attached that the have and portion of the sentiment. And as it turned out, part of that extends beyond the card, and not by a ton, but possibly by enough so that it may not fit in a standard size envelope because of all the additional bulk that acetate and everything within the pop-up mechanism adds to. And so I did have to cut that sentiment down a little bit in the corner, and it looks a little bit strange, so I might see again if there's anything I can do to kind of revisit and spiffy that up a little bit. But definitely, if you're doing any style of pop-up, just be sure to always sort of double, triple check as you actually put down elements before they dry. Especially if you use liquid glue, because once you use liquid glue, that's rather permanent. You get that initial time to kind of move things around a little bit, but then once it's dry, it's there for good. So in terms of blinging things up a little bit, I'm using another segment of the ribbon, just in a thinner thickness, and so I'll add a bow to this. And I did find that it seems with these box kits, and I don't have a monthly subscription, but I've purchased maybe a handful of them at this point, because I think they're just so fun to work with. Couple things on the ribbon though. For one, it's wrapped around cardboard, and so you get these very you can see it there on my bow. You get those lines where the ribbon has been wrapped around the edge of the cardboard. And I mean, you could probably iron it out, I guess, but I mean, I'm not going to take the time to do that. I tried to spritz it with water and weight it down with something heavy, but that didn't really, get that crease out. So that's one thing I didn't like about it. And then the other was that sometimes the colors are like a really good match, and then sometimes it's just off like ever so slightly that it doesn't quite seem to fit in with the color palette for the box. Here I'm putting some, just a small strip of Love from Lizzie's pinstripe stickers, and I think that made such a big difference to this card to bring in a little bit of black, because there wasn't black really anywhere else other than the sentiment that I had stamped out. And so adding that little underline to the word gorgeous, I think helped that out, make it a little bit more cohesive. But all the kits do come with ribbon for embellishment and flat back pearls. And as I mentioned, with the pearls also, sometimes the colors are just a dead-on match and they're really fantastic, but other times it's just off enough that for me to not really want to incorporate it. The other thing is that the largest size ribbon and the largest size pearl, for me, tend to be bigger than what I would generally include on a card. But otherwise, these kits are really fantastic. So I did find that scrapbook.com is starting to sell them. So if you are interested in picking up a kit, check out scrapbook.com. I'll leave a link in my description box below. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a fantastic day and happy crafting. Bye.